welcome to the From the Finney podcast with me, Jake.
And me, Ollie.
In this episode of the pod, we're going to look back over Saturday's 2-1 win over Luton Town. We're scoring goals again, and we're going to look ahead to Cardiff and Leeds in the coming week or so. How do you, mate? You good? How you feeling?
Yeah, really good, thanks, Jake. How are you?
Yeah, mate, I'm really good.
Good.
Really
I'm
good.
a bit zoned out, so I apologise in advance to anyone listening.
That's fine. Listeners don't matter as long as you talk sense instead of shite. They probably won't matter if you talk shite because you're usually just funny when you do that.
Fair enough. We'll see what happens. But yeah, good weekend.
Yeah, made all the better by a win yesterday.
Yeah. It's mad how 2 wins in 4 days can change everyone's mindset. Yeah. Because we're exactly the same team as we were a week ago.
But back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
And it's all changed, isn't it?
Yeah. Big win yesterday as well with the other results.
It's so tight though, isn't it? I think we could lose a game in the next couple of weeks and results go against us and we could find ourselves, I think, 10th in the league or 11th.
Yeah. I don't think we've been outside the playoffs since very early. Like, we went 7th briefly, didn't we?
About 2 weeks. Week or something.
Yeah, but we've been around the top 6, but we can't just establish a bit of a gap. But as long as we're still in and around it, we're doing fine.
Well, we've said all along, haven't we? If we can just keep ourselves in touch, then as the season draws to a close, we've got every opportunity to secure a playoff place. Or if West Brom and Leeds capitulate, then maybe nick a top 2. But I can't see that happening.
No, obviously, did West Brom win late on yesterday?
Yes, Charlie Austin came off the bench and scored twice.
That late winner against us, they had a lucky goal against Wigan when Jamie Jones picked the ball up, and then obviously won late yesterday. So they're grinding it out. I think Leeds are a better team, but they had one of their weird results yesterday. Christmas time, innit? Yeah, they go a bit west at times, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I still think they'll be up there.
Yeah.
Plus they've got a 10-point gap to us in third.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but as long as we keep plugging away, got a couple of tough away games and that coming up. So
exactly. Just before we get stuck into it again, while everyone's listening at this point, we are still looking for a sponsor for the pod. So if you or anyone that you know has a business or anything like that, and you wouldn't mind getting involved and sponsoring us, get in touch. You can DM us on social media, on Twitter or Facebook, or email us just fromthefinney@gmail.com, and we can try and sort something out. The Luton game. I think you mentioned before it was 4-2-3-1, and then likewise for Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think. Well, they've been playing with a diamond, but they were more. They set up to match us yesterday, really, but they didn't really. They didn't come to play football, did they?
No, at points we were sat with like 2 banks of 4 with one in the middle. It was a frustrating game. Obviously, Galley was back in. Fish was back in at right back. Hughes started his second game in as many at left back. I think Bauer as well, second game in as many.
Yesterday was the first time I think we've had a back 4 with 4 players in the correct positions for a good while.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hughes and Fisher at full back. And I thought you could tell it was just a lot more balanced, weren't it? Even though we never really looked like conceding, do we? Obviously, they got the penalty, but defensively, whole game aside, we've actually been okay. We just can't seem to keep a clean sheet at the minute.
No, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? I think
the
bigger worry than not keeping the clean sheet is the away record, but Don't want to go over old ground. We've spoken about that plenty of times. But
Yeah,
I thought the fullbacks yesterday were impressed me. I thought they did well. Hughes looks like he's never really been away. And it's just showing for me what having an actual left back at left back can bring to a side. His overlapping runs, he comfortably gets up and down. He doesn't have to stop and track back, cut back onto his right foot to whip any balls in.
Yeah,
that's not a slight on Rafty. Like,
just the facts of how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
For Fisher on the other side.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you've got actual fullbacks who can play on the preferred side. But yeah, Luton yesterday I think that's why the fullbacks are so involved, because he sat just really deep behind the ball and narrow, and then obviously Maguire and Bowden like to tuck inside a bit, and Fisher in particular quite a lot of space. I think, did Fisher put the cross in for the goal? The Stockley goal. Barkey laid it back to him.
He put the first ball in it. Obviously, it turned over again, didn't it? But I think, was it Galley played the ball into Stockley, who touched it on. Barkey played it on to Fisher. Fisher played it across. Maguire back in to Harrop, who I think tried to have a shot. Then Galley tried to have a shot, and obviously it fell to Stockley. Who had what felt like it took him about 2 years.
Yeah. I've watched it on the replay though. It doesn't even take long.
No, it doesn't.
It just felt like it took ages.
I think it was one of them when you're in the ground and you got all that pent up energy, because you know that really it's a game we should be winning, and it's a massive chance, isn't it? But obviously buzzing to see him put it in the back of the net. Yeah, so
even though we dominated the ball, I think we had 68% possession, played 500 passes. They had as many shots on target as we did. We both had 3 shots on target.
Yeah, to be fair, we only had 1 shot more than they did. But they just never really looked like troubling us, did they? Obviously, there was one-on-one.
They were very direct. They just played on transitions, didn't they? Yeah, the one-on-one.
Well, looking at the passes here, they had 230 to 480 for us.
Well, I'm looking at something that's given us 500 and something, but we had about 500, didn't we?
Yeah, near enough, isn't it?
So yeah, we just lacked a bit of decisiveness.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest,
maybe it was a game that we missed DJ a bit in yesterday.
Yeah, DJ, or I think maybe Bill performing a bit better could have helped. I don't think Bowden was particularly good yesterday. Again, I don't know if maybe 2 games in the period that he's played them in was best, considering he's coming back from however long out. But I suppose it doesn't really matter now, does it? We won the game.
Yeah.
He's got more minutes under his belt, and he was brought off. So,
yeah, I'm surprised Barkey's not started either of the last 2. It's quite rare for that to happen. I suspect
he'll come back in against Cardiff.
Yeah. Maybe he's looking for something a bit different at home.
Yeah, never know.
A bit more creativity, but thought he did all right when he came on, actually. Made a good impact.
Like we said, he was involved in the build-up to the goal.
Yeah, and then...
all 3 subs were obviously Harrop, Barkey, and then Stockley finished it off, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought Neil was proactive yesterday, to be fair, with his subs. Made a sub quite early, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Stockley in the right place to put it in. But I thought...
time scored the goal.
Yeah, the only negative for me was Fisher's 10th yellow card.
Yeah, he looked his way into it, didn't he?
Yeah, because we just looked a lot more balanced yesterday with Fisher in, but...
don't get me wrong, I think Alan Brown's done well there. And we'll come on to him in a little bit. But just that little something extra with Fisher in, and an actual fullback, as we said about Hughes, an actual fullback playing in their actual position.
Yeah, I think Fisher's one of the best in the league. Me.
Yeah, and I agree. And his quality into the box sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired, but he's overlapping runs. Like there was a time yesterday where he overlapped Bill, and I think Bill, probably looking back, will think that he should have slid the ball through to Darnell, but obviously,
he's just all round game is class.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to. It's obviously a 2-game ban, and Rafferty's got out for 2 more games as well. So
2 games, yeah. So we'll be flush with right backs after Leeds.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, he had a good battle with Lualawara, I thought, as well.
yeah. You could see from the
Yesterday.
get-go. I'll tell you one thing I didn't like was the fact that obviously Luton won the toss and made us shoot the other way to the way we normally do in the
I
first.
hate that. Yeah,
Pisses me off so much.
sitting at the town end, especially that it takes something away from the game.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's such a little thing though, isn't it?
well, I think it's quite a big thing. Last 20, if you need a goal, shooting towards the town, and obviously it didn't matter yesterday because we scored late on at the other end, but
Yeah,
just feels like the town can have a bit of an effect sometimes. But
yeah.
yeah, just one of them.
I agree, but I mean, obviously, fair play to Luton. They've decided that they wanted to try and give themselves the best opportunity, and
Yeah, they were massive time wasters, weren't they? Probably the worst I've seen at Deepdale this season.
yeah, I know we're usually quite bad for it in away games, but they took the piss. I don't think I've seen anything that bad since League One days. Not at Deepdale, anyway.
They look like this is not to sound
Bitter.
like I'm slagging off Luton, but they did just look a bit like a League One team. Just the way, a bit of the quality was, and just the way they set up, really.
To be honest, they didn't really have much quality. I think it was quite clear from the get-go that they'd come and set out to just try and nick anything that they could from the game.
Yeah,
which
is fair enough in their position. That's fair enough.
You can completely understand it. They were 3 points above the relegation zone. But it's something that we used to see week in, week out in League One. Teams coming to Deepdale, sitting deep just to try and frustrate us.
Yeah. I thought when we got the first goal, they're normally the kind of games we can push on a bit more. But it didn't really materialise.
Another game that we've gone ahead in and gone on to win.
Yeah. First goal's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, the only one.
Alex Neil says it.
Yeah, it's the Swansea one, isn't it? Away from home.
Yeah.
And I think just before we leave the Luton game behind, credit needs to go to Declan Rudd.
Yeah. I thought you didn't think he did that well, did you, with this one?
Well,
I thought it was a great save.
Initially, I didn't, but I've since watched it back. And for those that are wondering what we're on about, I said to you after the game, didn't I, that I didn't think the strike was the best, but after what you said to me and having since watched it back, like you said, Deck did everything right, really, that you'd expect the goalkeeper to do. He came out, made himself big, stayed on his feet for as long as he could.
Yeah.
And I still stand by the fact that I don't think the shot was the greatest, but if he hadn't have done what he did and done it right, he could
have made it really easy for the striker.
Yeah, he could have done. Fair play, Deck. Like we've said.
He's actually. I'd say he's actually having his best run of form, probably since Alex Neil came in. We just can't seem to get a clean sheet, but as long as we're winning games.
Yeah, I suppose it.
And
does it?
Yeah, one last thing I'd say as well about Luton game is we won 75% of our aerial duels yesterday, which just shows you what a difference Hughes and Bauer make as well.
Yeah.
So as long as
they both won the most aerial duels combined, didn't they?
Yeah, they're just Hughes is exceptional. I think that's quite underrated in the air.
Yeah, well, Bauer won 9, Hughes won 8, so
yeah, absolutely just dominated him really physically. I thought, and I think Graham Jones said as much after the game. So
what does he have to say specifically? Anything worth noting?
What about
the game yesterday?
Oh, about the game yesterday. No, he said Deepdale's a really hard place to come. All this, and it shows how well they competed. That we had to score a late goal on them, which is, to be fair, it's fair enough, isn't it? They competed quite well.
I suppose he's not going to come out and say they were shit, is he?
Well, yeah, good win, back-to-back wins, and then the home form. West Brom game aside, absolutely unbelievable.
Well, I think we're still top of the home form table, aren't we?
Yeah. I don't know. I've lost count now, but we must have. How many have we played? 10 at home. We must have won 6 or 7.
Give me a sec.
Maybe even more. No. Yeah, we're just we found a way to win at Deepdale. Found a way to win against Fulham. We're not playing as vibrantly as we did in the earlier part of the season at Deepdale, but we're just finding a way to get it done.
So we're top of the home form table. 29 points from 12 games.
That's mad.
Leeds are second, but they've only played 11. And then Cardiff and West Brom. Cardiff are third. They've taken 23 from 10 games. And West Brom have taken 22 from 10 games.
Yeah. Shows you how tough the next couple of games are going to be as well.
And just goes to show how important our home form actually is to our position as well. Because Cardiff, like I said, are third in the home form table with 23 from 10 games. But they're 17th in the away form table with one extra point. We're 18th with one less point, but we sit third and they sit, 12th?
Yeah, there won't be many points behind us, though, will they? There'll be about a win, 2 wins behind us, probably. Yeah.
5 points.
Yeah, but it's never been... I can't remember a season ever being this tight at this stage.
No, it's mental, isn't it?
Yeah. I keep thinking... So I keep thinking it's going to break away a bit. Obviously, the top two's broken away, but that's it.
Yeah, normally at this point in the season, at least down to sort of 8th or 9th, there's a bit of a gap. But you've got to go down to comfortably mid-table at the moment to find. Christmas
period will be massive.
Arguably, Hull in 14th on 30 points. I'm wildly out of it. You know, they're only 5 points off 6th place.
Exactly, that's nothing, is it really? So good season so far.
No, it has. It's been good. But I think if we're going to go on and do anything, we need to maintain the home form, and we absolutely have to improve our away form.
Yeah,
I think that's a given, isn't it?
Yeah.
So before we go on to a break, took a couple of questions from Twitter from some of our followers. First of all, got a bit of a double-barrel question, if you will, from Smithy. So the first part is, does the term automatic pick apply at North End, and does that mean that Davis will have to wait his turn to get back in when he's fit? I think automatic pick does apply.
No.
Do you not think?
What, in terms of?
Just the general squad. In terms of, if you've got Darnell Fisher fit or Joe Rafferty fit, Darnell's the automatic pick.
Oh, right, yeah, in that sense, of course, but I don't think... Well, obviously Barker has not started the last couple of games. Brown, who's arguably one of his favourites, went through a stage of not starting, so... But I think with Ben Davis, he's simply the best centre-back at the club.
It is. So when he is fit, I don't think he will have to wait his turn to get back in.
No. And what does that even mean, waiting his turn? Because you can't wait for a mistake from another centre-back to put him back in. You just go straight back in because he has... The most important thing is he's left-footed.
Yeah, it just adds that final little piece of balance to the back four, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then when you've got Hughes and Davis together on the same side, it makes a massive difference. So
yeah.
In that sense, I'd say, he's probably going to be an automatic pick. But I don't think Alex Neil has players that he knows are going to play every game regardless. Apart from, I'd just say Ben Pearson. But,
yeah.
No.
And I think Ben Davis as well, if he's fit.
Yeah, well, Ben, yeah. Both Bens, I'd say. And probably Bauer as well. But yeah, considering how many games they missed now, 4 or 5.
Something like that.
I know he wasn't far away yesterday, so he should definitely be back for the Cardiff game.
So the second part is, will there be a midfield reshuffle on Saturday at Cardiff with Fisher suspended, or will Clark go in at right back? So I think what he's alluding to there is, will Alan Brown play at right back, and will there be changes in the middle of the park, or will it just be keep it as is, Clark in?
I personally think Clark will play. Mainly because of the opposition.
Yeah.
If you look at what Neil Harris did when he was at Millwall, I think he's taken a similar approach there. Obviously, they have got better wide players, but I think...
they have, but also...
I think Clark will go.
I think the squad is still quite similar in that I think Cardiff squad suits Neil Harris in the way that he sets teams up and likes to play. Yeah,
I think in terms of the Leeds game after, that would be one where I'd expect Brown to play, just because of his mobility over Clark's.
Yeah, his energy as well. He can get up and down a lot more, can't he?
Yeah, so I think Clark will go back in.
So yeah, the second one, I think this is a bit of a joke, but should Darnell Fisher be fined 20 grand for seemingly insisting on getting booked when he knows that we have a shortage of defenders or not?
Who's this question off?
At Mats_Allen, ALLEN.
What does Matt think?
I haven't got a clue what Matt thinks, mate.
Nah, I think he does take the piss a bit, doesn't he, does Darnell? But
He does. I think 20 grand fine's a bit harsh, though, seeing as he's probably not even on half of that for his weekly wage. Maybe around that.
I know Ben Pearson's been fined in the past.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Fisher will obviously be getting fined, but to average a yellow card every 124 minutes at this point in the season is pretty
crazy. He's on 10 yellows now. He's played 5 less games than Pearson, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a bit of an issue. It's a bit of an issue, really.
Yeah, I think.
And there's not many. There's not. He doesn't make many bad tackles. It's normally just an accumulation of stuff within the game, which is a bit of an issue. But because he's so good as well,
we miss him.
You just can't afford to. So that'll be his third. When he's finished that suspension, that'll be 3 games missed already.
Yeah. Well, the next most booked player is Sam Hutchinson, who's played 3 more games than him. Also has 10 yellows.
Yeah. You just wouldn't expect it from a right back.
More minutes than him as well.
Yeah, you just wouldn't expect it from a right back particularly. I've not seen the yellow card table, but I'm guessing most of them are central midfielders.
Yeah. Sam Hutchinson, Jonathan Hogg, Sam Morsey.
Yeah, all centre mids.
They're the next 3 after Fisher. Then Tom Lawrence, who can play centre mid, but doesn't.
Nah, he's a winger.
Gallagher, again, attacking mid. Yeah. But then you've got Sunjic at Birmingham, and then Pearson.
Yeah, so basically Fisher's.
So yeah, they're almost all midfielders in some form or another.
Yeah. Neil won't be happy.
No, of course he won't.
I can guarantee you that.
But I think
it's probably at the stage now. Sorry, I was just going to say, it's probably at the stage now where he's got a similar reputation to Pearson.
I suspect so, yeah. But I think the other thing as well, yesterday, he seemed to talk himself into the book.
Yeah.
So I think his reputation will be more around him probably being a bit of a gobshite as opposed to... He doesn't really fly into nasty challenges like Pearson does, like he's done in the past.
Yeah.
Obviously, Neil's said, hasn't he, that he doesn't mind if Pearson gets booked for a bad challenge if it's something that he needs to do in the game, but it's when it's the godding off and dissent or whatever you want to call it at the referees that they're the ones that he minds. And you would imagine that the same applies for Fisher as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why it's a bit of an issue. Just on that quickly yesterday, I thought Pearson was going to bring him down. Do you know when he went 1-on-1?
Yeah, he kind of looked up, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a red card, which would have been a nightmare. But yeah, to be honest, I think Ben's doing all right. I think he's only on 6 yellows, is he?
Yeah, 6 yellows in 20 appearances.
Yeah, so that's not too bad really. That's about average. Well, probably a bit above average, but for a centre mid.
Well, I was going to say for
not the end of the
position, considering that 9 of the 10 most booked players in the league are all centre midfielders in some form.
Yeah.
Currently sits 8th.
Yeah.
It's not too bad considering his history. But yeah, well, I think is that brew time, mate?
Yeah, probably.
Sound. I'll go and put the kettle on. I'll see you in part 2. Welcome back to part 2 of the From the Finney podcast. In this part, we're going to basically probably spend most of it talking about transfers. When we asked for questions on Twitter, the majority were transfer related. And then we'll finish looking ahead to Cardiff City and Leeds United in the build-up to and just past the Christmas period. Well, Boxing Day, not past the Christmas period. It still is the Christmas period. Anyway. Eamon Brophy has obviously been linked quite a lot in the last probably 3 or 4 days, 2 or 3 days. And I'm not going to lie, I don't know anything about him other than he's about 23, 24. He's a striker and he plays in Scotland somewhere.
Yeah, he's 23. He's played quite a lot out wide as well on the left this season, but he's only scored 4 goals this season for Kilmarnock. But
well, Neil had him, didn't he, at Hamilton?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think to be honest, he only scored. Well, I say only, but he scored 20 goals in his 2 seasons with Hamilton, I think. So it's only 10 goals a season, isn't it?
What are you looking at?
I'm just reading this article on Deepdale Digest.
Oh, because on here it says that he scored 21 goals in 73 appearances at Killie, and then scored 7 goals in 66 appearances at Hamilton.
Oh, I don't know then. Right, we'll just cut that bit out. I'm just reading this. It says Deepdale Digest. A move to Kilmarnock followed in 2017 when he scored 20 times in his first 2 seasons.
Yeah, Kilmarnock, not Hamilton.
Oh yeah, shit. Fuck.
Dickhead.
Right.
Sorry, I'll leave it in. It's funny.
Right, sound. I am still hungover.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Yeah, but to be honest, I can't be bothered signing any more players from Scotland. Obviously, the last one being Louis Malt, but Stevie May before that. We've just had a few, haven't we? Similar sort of.
I mean, the jury for me is still out on Louis Malt. That game he played against Wigan, played well. He's had spells where he's played well, and then don't get me wrong, it's unfortunate what's happened to him with his injury and stuff like that, but he's either not been given a run enough to show on a consistent basis what he can do. Don't get me wrong, he scored some big goals.
I'll just make it simple for you. It's not good enough. Same as Stevie May. So we definitely need a striker, though.
Yeah, we do. We needed one in the summer.
Yeah. I just don't know. Obviously, Neil's worked with him, so if he likes him, then you'd back Neil. But
yeah, and he's younger.
That might come down to... Yeah, he's 23, so... Might come down to budget again. Obviously, he would never be Neil's number 1 choice, would he?
Nope.
But yeah, we'll have to see. I'll see that one. That's just come from the Daily Mail, though, so I don't know how...
Take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, I don't... And we always seem to get linked. When there's a player in Scotland, they always get linked with Rangers, and they get linked with us, which I just find a bit odd. But yeah,
definitely. Rangers are linked with our players, i.e. Rudd.
Yeah. Obviously, Nugent scored on Tuesday. Stockley scored yesterday. Maguire scored on Tuesday. So the forward players are back in the goals, but there's no doubt we need another option up there.
Yeah, well, I think yesterday was just...
Arguably, we could do with a wide option as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday. Like, obviously, we've got Harrop and Bill, Barkey, Shawnee plays there as well, but...
Gets a bit stale.
Yeah, I just feel like we're just missing something in the mould of Callum Robinson or something like that. Someone that can pick up the spaces that he did and play in that sort of style, if you know what I mean.
Obviously, very hard to replicate it, but I know what you mean. Yeah,
absolutely it is.
Yeah.
But there's, again, been the links over the last few weeks with Scott Sinclair, but I just can't see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're getting linked with Sinclair, then you're getting linked with Eamon Brophy. That's going to come down to budget, which one you'd go for. So, but if we will be around the top 6 come start of January, just because of the nature of where we are now. But we've said it before, but we need to, like, if we sign this lad from Scotland who scored 4 goals this season, it's a bit deflating, isn't it? But
yeah, it doesn't really fill you with confidence that you're
and like you
into the playoffs, does it?
Yeah, I've never seen him play, to be honest. But
I'd literally never heard of him until
he's
the other day.
To be fair, he's got a bit of a reputation up there. I've heard of him. He's got a cap for Scotland as well now.
He sounds like Neil's type of player. in terms of he can play a couple of different positions. He sounds like he works his bollocks off all the time, but like you said, like Scotland just hasn't worked well for us. And if we're serious about challenging or doing anything this season, we've said it before that we need to start looking like a level above what we're currently doing in the transfer market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll have to see with that one.
But yeah, obviously the other one that's been heavily linked over the last few weeks with reports that I think Liverpool's loan manager was apparently down at Loftus Road watching us.
Yeah, I saw that.
Meeting Deepdale or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But obviously Cayman Kelleher from Liverpool, the young goalkeeper, young Irish lad.
Yeah. To be fair, he's older than I thought he was. He's 21.
Still youngish though, isn't it?
It's young, isn't it? Yeah, but I thought he was 18, 19. But yeah, I can't remember where I saw that. But apparently, their loan guy was watching us
at some point. Yeah.
So
I think I saw it on Twitter or something like that. I can't remember.
It sounds like we are still going to make a move for a keeper.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Rudd, since the international break, even though we actually lost 4 in a row, I thought he's probably been one of our best players in that period of time.
Yeah, he's not really been at fault so much, has he?
I think he's been doing all right. Obviously, the 2 penalty incidents that the West Brom and the QPR ones, but generally, I think he's been good. He's made some good saves. His kicking's improved as well for me, but obviously, it's an area we can still improve.
It's an area we can still improve.
It's a complete gamble with this guy, though, with this kid.
And I think the other thing that you got to bear in mind as well is if what we're told is correct, he's had an offer on the table of a new contract since the end of September, and he's still not signed it.
Well, same as Bill, innit?
Well, yeah, obviously Bill ended up signing his, but
yeah,
Bill was never really linked with any other moves. Rudd's been linked with potentially moving up to Rangers. I think in the summer it was. Maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but I think it was a well-known secret that he wanted to move closer back to Norwich because I think his family is still based down there. He's set up a football academy.
I'll tell you something. You don't get closer to Norwich when you move to Glasgow, do you? So
no, I know, but I'm not saying.
To be honest, I think
in the Rangers thing, but
no, I don't think there's anything in that.
There's obviously a reason why he's holding off signing the alleged deal if it is on the table.
Just more money, innit?
Or he wants to move closer to home.
Yeah.
He's out of contract. He can probably get himself more money without a club needing to pay a fee for him.
Yeah, he won't move to another Championship club though if he leaves us on a free. He won't be a number 1 anyway.
No. But
so
yeah, but obviously this young lad from Liverpool, I've no idea what he's like. He's, from what I can see, he's made just under 20 appearances for the under-19s and the under-21s for the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I saw him in the cup game. Did you see the 5-5 Liverpool Arsenal?
Yeah, vaguely. I saw bits of it. I think me and Dan and Pilks, I think, were doing a pod.
All right. Yeah. Obviously, conceded 5. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's obviously highly rated at Liverpool.
Yeah, he's been on the bench quite a lot, hasn't
he? Yeah, he's from Cork as well, so no. Well, they won't know him, but obviously,
I do.
Makes it easier to integrate. Well, I think he was at Ringbaum Rangers where Alan Brown was.
Yeah, and Adam O'Reilly was as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, yeah, we've said it before, though, it'll be a big risk doing that because obviously Liverpool's terms and conditions means he wouldn't have to play, but you'd be pretty likely to play most games.
There's a financial penalty for any player that doesn't play, isn't there, basically? Yeah. I read that it was a set fee. I read that it was you pay double their weekly wage if they don't play, but whatever it is, there's obviously a financial penalty of some kind, which to an extent you can understand because obviously Liverpool want their youngsters to go out, get experience and develop, but at the same time, from our point of view, they shouldn't just be able to walk into a side. Like we've said, Rudd over the last month or so has done well and has improved. And if we bring in a young 21-year-old who's never made a professional appearance, first team appearance,
well, they were willing to do that with Muric, weren't they? So it's obviously something that they've highlighted, and they want a young, highly rated keeper.
Or perhaps it's just a case of Rudd's off. Maybe he just won't sign a new deal. He's off in the summer. They want to get someone in for the second half of the season, keep Ripley as backup, and go again in the summer. You just don't know.
Nah, I'm just rejecting that.
Okay, you reject it.
I just don't. They're only thinking about this season now. They're not bringing in a 21-year-old because they know Rudd's going to leave. Not a chance. It's too big of a risk to do that just because Rudd's going to leave. But I genuinely think it's because Neil wants a better keeper.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been a lot of debate, I think is probably the best way of putting it online, about people saying, "Oh well, Rudd's done well, so we don't need a new keeper," and we're probably more in this camp, or saying that he's not quite good enough. So if you can upgrade a position, then why wouldn't you? And I think I still stand by that. As well as he's played, we can do better.
100%. It's obviously they wanted to keep her in summer as well, so they're not going to. It's not just ignore it.
The situation hasn't changed since the summer, so it's not just something that they drop, is it?
I agree.
Yeah, Cardiff on Saturday. Is it 12:30 kickoff?
I believe it is. It's on Sky again.
I will be in the pub again, and I'll
be on the sofa recovering from Friday night.
Last big night out before Christmas.
Big work night out on Friday. So thank you very much, Sky Sports. They've actually helped me quite a lot this month for various reasons.
Yeah, well, your trains were knackered the other night, weren't they?
Yeah. Just aside, I can never remember us being on TV like 6 times in the space of like a month.
No, I can't either.
Mad. So
funny what happens, isn't it, when you start doing well?
Yeah. But very tough game. I think you said before, what are they, 3rd, 4th in the home table?
No, yeah, something like that. 3rd, I think.
They've done quite well since Neil Harris went in there. So, and they've got some good players as well. Obviously, Premier League team last season, so always a tough game anyway.
Yeah.
No matter where they are in the league, it's always just going to be.
The season before they went up, the season that they went up, when we went away to the Cardiff City Stadium, and I think they end up winning 1-0. Tom Clark, last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was on Sky Sports as well.
Yeah. That was a tough game.
Yeah, always. Especially when now it's Neil Harris. To be fair, he's not that much different from Warnock, but it's just going to be an absolute battle. So I could see maybe Potts coming back in, depending on the right back situation. Brown, obviously, and then I think we'll probably use pace up front because their centre backs are very, very, very slow.
They're not the quickest, are they?
No, so it'll be a tough game. We just need to sort this away form out ASAP.
There has to be a point, doesn't there, with the away form? There has to be a game that changes it.
I thought it was the Charlton game, to be honest.
I hoped it was the Charlton game. And to be fair, the Charlton game shows that we can put in good performances away from home.
Yeah.
We just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's confidence or what, but for whatever reason, we just, for the majority of the away games this season, just seem to crumble.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to put your finger on. To be fair, we have had a bit of bad luck at certain times in away games. Like the whole game was just a write-off because of the circumstances. The Derby game we were a bit unlucky to lose, I thought, having watched the game. And then earlier on in the season,
because I didn't see it.
The Swansea game we were unfortunate to lose. Millwall, arguably again unfortunate. So
we've covered it again in the past. Don't want to go over old ground, but for me, Declan cost us that, as he did with the Reading game away. I think was it the 7th or the 8th minute.
Having been there, I'm not putting any blame on Rudd for that. That was an absolutely terrible performance. we
Just
we have,
looking, Cardiff are actually in pretty decent form at the minute.
yeah, it's a tough game.
They've won 3, drawn 2 of the last 6, and obviously lost 1, which is a 2-1 against Brentford the other week.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done well since Neil Harris went in there.
Yeah,
So-
it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, and then obviously Boxing Day, same again at Leeds, Sky Sports.
The big one.
Early game as well, I think. So,
And we never
to be
do
fair,
well.
no, we never do well there, do we?
Oh.
Two of the toughest possible away games back to back in a very short space of time. So
A tough period, isn't it?
yeah. So I don't know how many points you can actually hope for. Obviously, you hope 6, but
To be honest,
even
might
you
sound a
take
bit
you take a
negative,
point. You take a
take
point in both
yeah.
games.
yeah,
And then, well, that's only 2 points from 6, and then you're dropping on the table, aren't you? So it's a bit of a
you stay unbeaten, don't you?
yeah.
And then you come into back-to-back home games, and if
Yeah, I think they're the important ones, to be honest, after this.
it's like that, where you start building up a bit of momentum, players
Yeah.
get a bit of confidence.
But the 2 home games in a row are one where you've got to. I don't want to look too far, but you've got to be looking for 6 points from them.
Yeah, I think is it Reading and Borough
Yeah,
with a New Year period.
Yeah.
2 winnable games, and for me,
so yeah,
record the 2 games that you want to be targeting 6 points from.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So them 4 games in about 10, 11 days.
Tough.
After that, you'll start seeing a bit more substance in the table.
Yeah, and a few more Saturday to Saturday games as well.
Yeah. So exciting time, to be fair. And
Yeah.
then the window
Season.
will be open. Yeah.
Well, big point in the season because the window will be open and there's a lot of games to come. So
Yeah.
hopefully we come out of the end of January with a similar record to the one that we had last January, aside from the defeat away at Rotherham on New Year's Day. But I don't think we lost another game until March, was it? Or end of February.
I think it was 12 unbeaten.
So if we can replicate that and we can have a somewhat decent window, then
Yeah.
you'd start to look at that and think maybe we can actually seriously do something here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think we're to do now anyway, but
so do I.
yeah. Right, should we call that a pod, mate?
Yeah.
Splendid.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Nice one.
And thank you, listener, for listening to episode 26 of the From the Finney podcast. As always, you can find us on all the different social media platforms, well, the main 3, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're just From the Finney. Give us a follow or a like or whatever on those platforms, and you can stream the podcast on the majority of decent podcast platforms as well. And get in touch, DM us, email us. We're just fromthefinney@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and cheers to you, Ollie. Much appreciated.
Nice one. See you later.
See you later.